So coming to the ingestion or the use of exogenous cannabinoids, how is this plant used? As you know, there are different routes of administration for cannabis. We have, for example, smoking, which is one of the most popular ways of using. And smoking is part of inhalation, right? Like getting through your lungs, getting the cannabinoids to your system through your lungs. So inhalation includes joints, smoking, vaporizers, or like vaporizers or vapes, some that have cartridges with oil, some that just heat the plant and enough to like release the THC. You can also eat it or ingest it. There's a big variety of edibles. Sometimes people make their own edibles, and sometimes in some places they can already find pre-made edibles for them to use. And there's also oral sprays that you can spray under your tongue or in the mouth and let them absorb that way. Something important here that I would like to emphasize is the difference between inhaling when you smoke and inhaling when you vape. And this is basically because when you smoke, you burn the whole plant. And when you burn the whole plant, you inhale all of the chemical compounds that come when you burn the leaf. So all the organic matter, the burnt organic matter, including carbon monoxide and some other compounds that are not necessarily toxic, but are irritants to your respiratory tract. While when you vaporize, using the vaporizer that heat the leaf, you only heat it enough so the THC and CBD will will become vapor, so that you can actually inhale THC and CBD, but you won't inhale all this product of combustion that you do when you smoke. So this is why vaporizing is not as harmful as smoking. However, there are also some vapes that have prepared cartridges, and these cartridges, as the same that happens with people that smoke that use nicotine, have preparations that sometimes include glycerin or other compounds that we still don't know the exact effect they have on their lungs. So if you have to choose between vaporizing with the vaporizers that heat the leaf and vaporizing with the ones that have the cartridges, it's going to be the ones that heat the leaf that are safer, not the ones with the cartridge. And of course, this the vaporizing is safer than smoking because of the reason we already spoke. So depending on the route of administration, as you may know, we may have different absorption processes, like different ways, rates of absorption, and different distribution through the body, and therefore different timing of effects. So the fastest way to get THC into your system is smoking or inhalation. You can see in this graph here that this dotted line is the concentration of THC in blood after inhaling. So you can see that this is the minute zero. This is the moment where you smoke or vape. And you can see that very quickly, like around 8 minutes after inhaling, you get a peak in your blood. So it's a very clear peak, and then it goes down. For the THC, there are other products of THC, byproducts of THC, that may stay high like for a little bit longer. But the big effect is going to go through a peak and then go down. However, when you eat or ingest THC, it will take longer to peak. So this is about 2 hours after ingestion. Remember, when we were smoking, we were talking about 8 minutes after smoking. Here are 2 hours, a little bit more than 2 hours after ingestion for the peak. And the concentration will stay high in blood for a long time. It can be up to like a couple hours. So that also sheds light on some of the differences between these two. And even though ingestion may be safer in terms of your lungs health, you have to be careful because you don't know how long it's going to stay in your blood. Like, it depends on if you ate or if you didn't eat, on your metabolism, and it can be intense for a long time. So if the person is having a bad experience, this bad experience will last longer. And also they will be impaired for things like driving or operating heavy machinery or doing complex tasks for a longer period of time. And here we have a comparison like of concentration in the brain. You can see inhalation is the fastest route, even higher than injection, even though injection is not a real route of administration. This has been done in the lab, snorting or snuffing, and then ingestion. So you can see ingestion takes longer to peak, but lasts longer in your system. This is just another graph that shows what happens after inhalation, right? How you go 10 minutes, you already have the peak of delta 9 THC in your system, and then it goes down. And when you ingest, it's mostly a byproduct of THC that goes in your blood because it passes through the liver that changes it into a different compound. But this compound is also active. It will also give the effects. And sorry about that. And it will stay high up to 6 hours at least. So you see, it takes like 2 hours and 30 to peak, but it stays in your system for long.